All right, so I'm back. This is Sabrina Moreland, and I'm going to show you how to use the Literature Resource Center this time in relation to doing drama research. So if you'll remember from the first video, I was focusing on Henrik Ibsen's A Doll House. So you guys, of course, are going to be plugging in your access points for Tennessee Williams and the Glass Menagerie and character or theme or whatever it is you're researching. So, like I've said in those other videos about Poe and his short story, I always like to start again with the playwright or the author of the piece I'm researching. So I'm going to put Henrik Ibsen in that search box, and I'm absolutely not going to click on any of the things this database suggests. It does limit your results, and that applies to any of the terms you type in here, names of stories, plays, and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to put in Henrik Ibsen and hit enter. And on the right, we can limit those 602 results down by using these limiters on the right of the screen here. Do keep in mind we want to keep this on literature criticism. And one of the first things I can do is click on document type and cut my results in half practically by clicking on critical essay and then hitting apply. This is just sort of another layer of ensuring that what I'm getting is not just an overview of my story or play or whatever it is. So now I have 342 results, and I can very quickly click on name of work and see that my title appears in this database, and it does right here under Doll's House. If I click on that and hit apply, then I have 32 results that I can sift through pretty quickly. So that's just utilizing the access point of author and title. Now another way I can search is by entering the title up here at the top instead of the name of the playwright. And so I'm just going to put in A Doll's House, ignore those suggestions, hit enter, and now I have 455 results under literature criticism. And I can do what I've done initially. I can narrow this down to critical essay. And this time, though, I'm going to employ my search within tool to narrow this down a little bit. So I could go over here to search within. And since I'm focusing on Nora's character and this idea of the role of women, gender equality, that sort of thing, Victorian marriages, whatever it is, I'm going to use Nora as my first search within search. So I'm going to put Nora and hit enter. And now I get 120 results. So it's narrowing it down, and I can do search within as many times as I want as long as I have results to work with. And so this time I'm going to look at her freedom or abandon that's sort of displayed throughout this play, and I'm going to hit search. Now I have 70 articles to work with. So like I said, I can keep narrowing that down by using search within as many times as I need to. You also have the option of doing an advanced search, which sometimes gives you better results or maybe too few results. It just depends on what you're researching. So I'm going to click on that link for advanced search, and I'm going to enter the author's name again. Because like I mentioned in that first video, sometimes just searching for your literary element with the author will give you the kind of results you need. So I'm going to go Henrik Ibsen, and it's really important to make sure this stays on keyword. And this time I'm going to put in quotation marks because I want women's role to appear together in my search, and put women's role or feminism. Now, this is a new skill. I'm taking the root word for feminist or feminism, so F-E-M-I-N, and I'm going to put an asterisk next to it. This is called truncation, and what this tells the database to do is search for that root in all my articles. Okay, so it will look for different endings for feminine, feminist, feminism, feminist criticism. So it's going to search all that stuff. That's just a little librarian trick there. Now, we want to make sure our fields over here all say keyword. So that I've changed that to keyword. And I'm going to see what happens now having Ibsen women's role or feminism. Now I get 18 results. I can go through those very quickly. So once you get your results narrowed down, you might have to change your terms a little bit. You'll try to find an article that's really relevant. And I actually think this first one, Reading, Writing, and Authority in Ibsen's Women's Plays. So you'll notice nothing about A Doll's House in the title, and that doesn't mean that it all is lost, okay? Because again, these articles might contain really relevant information that you have to sort of find in the article itself. So I'm going to click on the name of that article, and when it loads, I get the HTML version, and I get some subjects on the right, and my search terms should appear in red. So there's feminine, right? Remember that truncation, that asterisk I added there? Feminist, so all those different endings and so forth appear. Now we want to make sure this is relevant. So one of the things I can do is hit Control F and search for maybe Nora's character. And there it is. So that talks about Nora. I could look for a Doll's House throughout this. So this is talking about his plays in general, but that does address Nora. And do remember that the database features are helpful, so you can cite your source. When I click on that, there's the MLA 8th edition that I can copy and paste into my Works Cited page. Want to make sure it's written right. Right now, immediately, I'd have to edit the title because those main words need to be capitalized. Check those other the Purdue OWL site, your handbook, and so forth. You can email it to yourself, you can download, you can print off. Sometimes when we download, it just depends. It might bring this up as a PDF with page numbers because you'll need that for your in-text citations. It just depends on, this one did it, the article, the journal it comes from. So I could say there's page 2, and this actually corresponds. Sometimes it'll be like page 298, so it just depends. But you can download to get the page numbers there as well. So that's just another way of searching. This type of research, like I said, applies to poetry, maybe literary essays that these authors have written. It could apply to short stories like with the Poe and Mask of the Red Death that I've already shown you. And when you go into JSTOR, when you go into the ebook collection, all of that applies. You're just plugging in the access points that we've talked about from that first video. So hopefully this has helped you navigate these databases and this process a little bit better for your 1020 drama research. I'm still available for any of the questions that you have for your research. That could be for how to use these databases, how to find better search terms, how to do citations even. So anything you need help with, I'm really happy to help you. So don't hesitate to reach out. I hope everyone is staying safe and well, and thank you for listening.